Hey everyone, Allison Berger here for Blockchain Global News. I'm at TokenMatch in New York City, and I'm now sitting with the CEO and founder of iCash, Will McDonough. How are you doing?
Great, nice to see you.
Nice to see you. So tell me, where did iCash come from?
iCash came, as I think most good businesses do, out of a problem that we had ourselves that needed to be solved. So we set out to build a decentralized application for peer-to-peer smart contract origination and settlement. And we realized that the biggest glaring hole in any smart contract settlement is the validity of the input. So Blockchain 101 is that it's decentralized and it's trustless and it's dependent on independent, anonymous third parties to validate. So you're not interacting with a centralized figure like a bank to clear your transaction. You're proposing a transaction, being paired with someone to take the other side of that transaction, and then a random, anonymous third person verifies that as settling. Well, that sounds great in a utopian world, but I know from my career on Wall Street and Main Street that that's just not rational for use at scale.
Right.
And I am an old Goldman Sachs person who would never have pressed a button that didn't have some kind of CYA mechanism in it, that I knew it could be reversed, or I could make a phone call and say, hey, stop that trade or slow down that wire. And so I think as corporations start to leverage the blockchain, they're going to need that checks and balances. So we created from that problem our protocol, which is called the Proof of Trust Protocol.
Okay.
And the Proof of Trust Protocol is code that sits and can be embedded in any smart contract or on any blockchain or in any decentralized application that allows for the contestation and thus affirmation of the settlement as being valid and accurate.
Interesting, very interesting. I'm glad that you're a problem solver.
Yeah, for sure.
So how do you go mainstream with blockchain?
I think, in that same vein, our whole approach is in structuring ourselves both such that Main Street can use us, but also that Wall Street can invest in us. And I think, again, there's some blockchain purists or folks that have done ICOs that say, banks aren't necessary and we don't need institutions, and that's just not the tact that we've taken. I understand how to structure products such that the broadest subset of humanity as possible can invest in them. And so we've built our entire corporation to look like and smell like and taste like an institutional quality investment, from the caliber of the team that we have, from our COO as the former head of risk management for the $75 billion pension fund in Massachusetts. Our CIO is an MIT math grad, has a graduate degree from there where he does quant algorithm building for us to manage our relationships with exchanges. Our development team, those last two projects were for JP Morgan and NBC. So these are people that have interacted at a global level before and have built institutional quality product before. And beyond that, we're structuring our product such that it can be used by the broadest subset of humanity as well, and making it completely decentralized and free, and making it as adoptable by every decentralized application and every blockchain that could possibly use it, to broaden the utility and broaden the adoption of our token, and thus drive appreciation.
So you're finding a lot of people, like let's say typical Wall Street, easily transitioning into this new cryptocurrency world, or are still people very hesitant?
I wouldn't use the word easily, but I think that folks that do understand the markets and then do understand trading are very excited by the fact that cryptocurrencies have defined supply. And if you believe that utility will rise and demand for that utility will rise with fixed supply, that's pretty exciting for people on Wall Street. Right now, if you were to ask me what Amazon's price is going to be in 12 months, I would have to figure out the numerator of their revenues and the denominator of their total outstanding shares. Both of those are variables in traditional Wall Street.
Right.
In cryptocurrencies, at least you can make the denominator a secured figure, and that's very exciting in terms of Wall Street's capacity to predict future pricing, which I think is going to be very easy for traders to understand and get excited about. And then I think also, the way that people regulate themselves, we've chosen to regulate ourselves as a security and get independent jurisdictional approval across 22 different countries. I think others have tried to argue that they're a utility and don't need to be governed as a security or regulated. And at some point, the regulators are going to disagree with that, and the liquidity of those projects is going to be very, very low, and the liquidity of the projects that are regulatable, of which we are one of few, is going to skyrocket.
Interesting. So what's your prediction for you and iCash?
I predict that we are going to have a major opportunity, and so long as we focus and execute, it will be the biggest opportunity that I've ever been a part of in my career.
That's great to hear. So what's the next step on the timeline for you?
We're completing our private sale right now to strategic and institutional partners. We've been lucky to have indications of subscription from one of the largest banks in the world, from one of the largest insurance companies in the world, who both see real-world application of us empowering them to be able to assure and potentially insure transactions on the blockchain. We're focused on getting strategic geographic investors. We've had a lot of support out of Korea, Japan, Hong Kong, and broadening that geographic footprint just so that we can truly be a global business as we aspire to be. And if we continue to execute, we're going to have an exciting couple of years.
It sounds like it. Well, thank you so much for joining me, Will.
Thank you for having me.
So until next time, I'm Allison Berger for Blockchain Global News.